Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today, and special thank you to the Schwartz Center for hosting the competition. My name's Sam. I have Marlo with me, and together we're working on Monarch. We want to start by telling you a little bit about ourselves. Marlo and I are both second-year MBAs here at Carnegie Mellon's Tepper School of Business, but we both started our careers in a little different place. I myself started my career in public accounting in audits, and a big part of that job was evaluating companies' accounting systems and financial statements. And that's really when I started to notice the manual processes of accounting departments. I also then worked in accounting and finance at a startup that's currently transforming the trucking industry with technology. And being at a fast-paced and disruptive startup was a really sharp contrast with my experience in the very traditional industry of public accounting. And that's really what inspired me to look into solving complex business problems with technology.
Hi, everyone. I'm Marlo. Before business school, I worked as an engineering consultant for a civil engineering firm, serving clients throughout the government and private sectors. And as a project manager, I went through the process of working with my project accountant to invoice clients every month and experienced the manual processes and lack of insight into client finances. Most recently, I also worked as a product manager at Tableau, specifically developing strategies for SMB customers. And this has really accelerated my passion in building intuitive and analytical products.
Together, our expertise in professional services, accounting, client service, and technology, on top of our Carnegie Mellon MBA education, inspired us to create Monarch. So what is Monarch? Monarch is an accounts receivable management platform for the modern professional services firm. Professional services firms lead their clients on journeys to embrace digital transformation, yet still depend on traditional and manual processes in their own work. Through extensive market research where we surveyed and interviewed over 20 potential customers, we found that the back office operations of these firms have relied on outdated financial operations that haven't really been updated for the digital age. That means revenue and ultimately cash gets tied up in menial back office processes, holding firms back from focusing on their most important asset, client relationships. Our research found that firms that don't use an invoicing solution designed specifically for professional services can have revenue leakage numbers from 10 to 30% higher than their peers. For a firm generating $10 million a year in revenue, this equates to $100,000 of revenue earned but not billed. Existing solutions have basic invoicing functionality, but they were primarily designed for the purposes of accurate bookkeeping, less so for the day-to-day of accounts receivables. Notably, they severely lack in collections functionality, and that's everything that happens after you send your invoice to the customer. Collections is a wholly separate process that lives in disparate phone calls, emails, paper invoices, and spreadsheets. Since these solutions are fragmented and manual in nature, client-facing employees have very limited visibility into the financial health of their clients. We believe that if firms find a way to spend less time and resources in these back-end processes, they can focus more time on their clients and ultimately stay competitive in an increasingly competitive market.
Introducing Monarch. Monarch's accounts receivable management platform provides consolidated billing and collection activities under one CRM-like solution. The end-to-end client relationship regarding all things invoicing and collections is now in one place, arming employees with the information they need to coordinate and act. Monarch provides a way for firms to move into the modern times with a digital and automated solution. Simple, repeatable, and redundant processes can be streamlined to reduce manual efforts and reduce the contract to cash time. More data is now collected with Monarch, and developing strategic insights comes easy. Using predictive analytics, firm leadership can track payment patterns to proactively identify cash flow issues and solve them. Insights are also auto-generated to provide concise updates to all members of the team. Monarch is made for the modern professional services firm, specialized to account for the uniqueness of service-oriented work. The metrics that drive working capital health are front and center, not only for accountants, but now for all employees to get updates on client payments and project finances to know when to add it to their next client meeting agenda. Our target market is small and medium-sized firms within the professional services industry. Smaller firms are left behind as big firms with more resources are leading the way in automation. Overall, there are approximately 1.2 million professional services firms in the United States that generate $2 trillion in revenue. We'll be targeting SMBs within that sector with less than 500 employees. There are about 700,000 firms with 1.5 trillion in annual revenue. This market is not only strong, but it continues to grow with an average of 6.8% growth each year. Our direct competitors like YayPay, Bill.com, and Invoice are billing platforms. However, they're not specialized in the professional services industry. They do not provide an end-to-end solution. Our indirect competitors, ERP software solutions and bookkeeping software like QuickBooks, are both lacking collections capabilities. ERP systems are not suitable for smaller firms due to the high upfront investment and maintenance costs. On the other hand, QuickBooks is made for SMBs, but does not provide the industry-specific features and analytical insights that our target market is looking for. Overall, our competitive advantage lies in Monarch's dual focus on billing and collections, CRM integration, and specialization for service-oriented businesses.
We plan to employ a per user pricing model, starting with a monthly fee that consists of a base of $79 and $2 for each additional user. This is a straightforward approach, and our customers can easily calculate their expected costs and compare that to their expected savings. This model also makes revenue generation for us a lot more predictable. With Monarch, we predict that firms can reduce revenue leakage and increase billings by 1% in their first year. In addition, Monarch will reduce the time spent on manual processes by 10%, resulting in saved labor costs. All in all, for a firm with $5 million in annual revenue and 250 users, we predict that Monarch will produce an ROI of 700%. Our financial projections are based on market research and cost structures of similar SaaS companies. In our first 2 years, we plan to target smaller firms with about 100 employees. And as Monarch grows, we'll transition to targeting larger firms with about 500 employees. Our revenue per customer will scale as the customer grows and with increased adoption. We expect to operate at a loss in our first 3 years and then mature into a margin of 20% by our 5th year.
Today, we're asking for $25,000 in funding, and we plan to hire a technical lead to finalize our design and requirements, and then we'll be focusing on developing and testing our MVP. In addition, we will be developing a marketing plan and start on the customer acquisition process. And with that, we thank you for coming today and hear about Monarch, and we'd like